Well, here we are. What a delight. I'm just so delighted. Um, Let me just start, Sov, that we've missed you, of course, and you have just transcended into a whole different, well, not different, you've come home to a place where you've always wanted to be. And I'm going to get you to talk about that a lot, but I just want to share with you, I have to smile. I'm doing a retreat in Bali in March, right? And now another one in September. So get ready for us. And one of the girls who signed up for it said to me at Brecky on Monday, "Will we be seeing Sovereign?" And I just smiled. I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, if you're not going to arrange that, I just want to take some extra days because I'm not going there without seeing Sovereign." So I did put her mind at rest and said, "Would I go to Bali and not see Sovereign?" So, you might be hiding somewhere in the country because I'll find you. It's going to be so exciting. So tell us your journey that you've been on and that you are now. Something you've been dreaming of, you've been talking about, we've been talking about, and all of a sudden, it's about divine timing, isn't it?
It's
So the
amazing.
topic was
Yeah.
when one door closes. And boy, how many times in my life have I had doors be slammed in front of my face? And then
Mm.
it's always not just one more other door opens, but it's like lots of options come towards you. So, how many doors are you opening? And which door did you close?
Yay. Yvonne, what a beautiful time to be alive, and what a beautiful time to be in syntropy with life. Really, I'm feeling that the fruits of all are relating my own navigation, navigating the internal landscape, finding the lost parts and pieces of self, really addressing so many of the topics that we've spoken around, applying it also wholeheartedly to myself, and where I get to then, or have gotten in the past, really the opportunities. Like, yeah, it's beautiful to speak around all the things that we share, and that a lot of that is from experience, but then also to really dive in and really retrieve any more of the unnatural frequencies, and free the cells of that. And the main door that I've closed out is this beautiful, beautiful constellation that I was in with my beautiful ex-partner Colleen for a year and a half. Um, a journey of epic adventures and such deep dives into myself, in through the container of relationship. Really, of course, coming to find that I have ways of being and prickliness, and the question then is, do I want to do it like that, and what's really going on underneath the surface. Intellectually everybody can always do their projections and make it sound as if the other person is doing it like this or like that, but really what is that I've been saying is like, she's not doing it like me. And that's just all these kind of early childhood imprinted self-protection mechanisms. And one of the things that was really a great takeaway for me is that I have, over the course of that period that we've been navigating and living together, I have slowly but surely stepped away a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further from what it is that I really feel makes me come alive. And our relationship having been so rich and so fulfilling, I wasn't really paying attention to how much I actually lost touch with my own soul, with my own real desires for land, for waking up in the morning and stepping out into the garden and going and planting some new seedlings, and pruning some of the existing bush around, and just really being on land with nature. And all of a sudden that has come into my life so rapidly, and I'm back home at the home that I left a year and a half ago, and being welcomed in with open arms on such a level and such a degree that it's all I can say is just pure blessing. And at the same time, it's just a reflection of how I've lived, how I've shown up for that family, and coming back to them, that their arms are wide open, and I get to lease beautiful land with them that I can lease in perpetuity. And it's one miracle after the other. And really what I feel that today I'd really like to go into as something that I've deeply explored over the last weeks, really, because we're talking about a period of 6 to 7 weeks of like boom, 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 dream after dream just falling into place. Um, but it really has to do with me stepping out of three-dimensional thinking and coming back to two dimensions, the here and the now, and the dreaming in that space, and the feeling of the vision in the two dimensions, and getting out of the future and how am I all going to do it. And it's something that I feel has a lot of bearing for a lot of people if we want to really bring into our direct experience what our heart song really is. Our heart song is not intellectually trying to map out how to bring all of that about. And when we get to come bring ourselves willfully into that place of just undoing the third dimension and recognizing when we do go into the third dimension of the future and thinking how is that going to come about, and all the thoughts that we have about other people, they're all in another space. They're outside of our own space. And this is what I've really been training myself, because I started to really recognize that the family that I'm navigate with, they live in two-dimensional reality. They live in the here and the now. And then I have this Western mind programming that is really well trained to operate in the planning, the strategy, the how to make it happen, where to navigate, how to do all those things. And that's all very cute. But the art is really to come back to the simplicity. And that's been my dream, a simple life. And a simple life does not involve a lot of strategization on how to get the universe to work in my favor, or how I can respond to what the universe. But it's all here, and that's been the big piece of awareness, is to step out of the third dimension of the present moment, the here and the now, and then time into the future, and just removing that from the equation. And the more that I've done that, the more that I've actually been able to be met by life, by the universe, by love, by manifestation, by not trying to pre-think everything out. So I wish I had brought some photos with me today to share with you. But I have a little space online that I'll be documenting my syntropic living journey on. And we may be able to put that in the chat for people that want to see what it is that I'm carrying forward and what that
That's
as
just
inspiration may offer. Yeah.
lovely. Thank you, because people want to keep in touch with you and they want to see your growth, because you're such a way shower, and it's phenomenal to see where you've landed again, and return to, and what you're putting in place. But really, what you're talking about is just so important, because it's about, and I get away from all the labels, 3D to 2D to 5D, and it's very confusing to people. But what you're talking about is the now moment, and when we can let go of the how to and just become the energy of what our soul calling is, become the energy of that within ourselves. And we, like you sit in the land, you feel the land, the vision begins to reveal itself in front of you. And it's whilst you keep that energy in place, whilst you are occupying yourself with the joy and the vibrancy of that energy that is your soul calling in the now, and forget about the how to. It's just delivered to you And at the moment, this retreat which I'm running in March and is now fully booked, so that I'm putting on another one in September. I started the first one I ran in 2012. This is not something I'm just suddenly designed to do now. So to return to, but that was a soul calling. It is, and since I actually listened to the soul calling and put it out there, that the energy of that gathering of everything that is going to be on offer to us, that is alive in every cell of my body. I go to sleep at night and it's there going do 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 do. I wake up in the morning, it's going do 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 do. And I'm going, look, it's not until March, leave me alone. Oh no, because, oh look, we'll do this and we'll do that differently, and so I'm constantly taking notes, and it's like, I know this is going to be yet another amazing experience because I've let go of any attachment to the outcome of it. I've let go of the how to, other than offering myself as the instrument for it to be put in place as it's meant to be put in place. But not for 1 minute do I concern myself about whether it's going to be okay. People are calling me and saying, well, we may not be able to get into Bali. I'm going, well, my team wouldn't be sending us all there if that was the case. I don't go there. I'm already in the energy of it. And I know because I'm in the energy of it, it is going to be revealed to me. And the same with the New Earth community. You are called to the land, and I know that your whole journey is about um, the syntropy and going back to showing people how, if we are in aligned with that, all things go smoothly. And I'm doing that with people. What we're doing is not so different. Probably yours is a little bit more silent. The last breaking we had, I needed to get earplugs, and we've got such a vibrant community growing and growing around. And I honestly don't sit there and go, oh, I wonder how I can have more people. No, I just turn up with the intention of creating a new earth community that is turning its back on the old, not fighting it, not resisting it, not having any fear about it, but just turning our back on it, creating the new, and saying, no, that's already gone. In this moment, this is where I choose to be. This is the energy of love, of peace, of harmony, of sustaining and maintaining life the way it's meant to be lived in all its fullness. And whether we do that with each other, with people, with the land, with the animals, with nature, it's all that we're being called back to. And that's why you and I have just become so connected, because our dreams are the same. We just enacted slightly differently, right?
Totally. Yeah, feeling so much resonance there. Yeah, it's beautiful, Yvonne. Yeah, it's the, the distinctions that I kind of come into navigating with my Balinese family and seeing how their mind song
Mm.
is so different, that I've spoken about recultivating a syntropic mind song, and then to meet it again,
But they live
because
it.
they live it.
That's why
And
I go there, because they live it. They live mind, body, and soul. They don't think, oh, I must go and connect with my soul on Sunday or whatever, or go through somebody to try and connect with it, and then go out and I'm separate again. It's this symbiotic movement of wholeness that they project in their particular culture that draws me and that draws you. So yes, I
yeah,
sort of get that.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
it's being in that presence that then allowed me to reflect on my own mind song, and recognizing that I go off into the future so often. They don't. They don't even have a word for you for they don't have a past tense. They don't have a future tense. They only have present tense verb language in Bahasa Indonesia, and so it's really beautiful for me to enter into a training to really get out of this orientation of being preoccupied in the thoughts with the future, and where I then translate that to, because the word mind song is really beautiful, it doesn't really give me, you speak about it's not about knowing the how to it. It's like I'm still deprogramming my Western cult programming, so to speak. And how do I unprogram myself? And that frame of reference for me, where I recognize, and maybe others can find resonance in this, that they can recognize the frequency of their mind song being in that third dimensional space of the future, of time, of practicality, as opposed to the here and the now. It's really helped me as a kind of reminder. It's like, oh, there I go again. Here I'm having a conversation with, with Mother Wayan, and I'm talking about what's all coming up. We're looking at something beautiful right here, right now, and I'm talking about what else I want to do. It's like, why not just be? And so I stop myself and I bring myself back to that place. So it's really through the exposure of being around other humans that don't have that in their field. They don't talk about tomorrow. They don't plan in next week fantasies as a predominant frequency of their way of living. And of course, when we live in the Western world, everybody is operating in tomorrow and yesterday and what we're doing and what we're not doing. And so it can be a little bit challenging to find our own ground in the present moment and the here and the now. And we feel we may need to meditate or really come into stillness. But I've really found that we can just catch ourselves any given moment and say,
Mhm.
oh, there, now that I have this frame of reference, is like, how can I actually witness myself going into this outside of my own space, into this what I call this third dimension of time in the future? Well, once I have that frame of reference, all of a sudden my own mind will say, oh, you were willing to come into awareness when you do that. Well, now you're doing it. And it's beautiful, because with that I can then stop myself. I can bring myself back. I mean, like, yeah, it's not relevant. It's not here. It's not now. And that can bring up for people quite some challenge, because not being in that field where we are so comfortable navigating, we even derive a sense of identity out of it. It's an identity of distraction. It's actually a distraction away of who we really are and what life really has to offer us, which is the here and the now. If we drop all of our expectations, anticipations, all of our stories, and that does take training, and that's what you and I have for all the years that we've been on for this, really trained and rewired ourselves to be able to do. But it's beautiful for me to actually live in the magical unfolding of that right now, where it's just like, oh my God, I've been talking about this and here it is. I've been wanting to buy a motorcycle because I've been renting one for 2.5 years, and for the money that I've rented, I could have probably fantasy owned two of them. But it never happened. And all of a sudden there it is. And not because I have, large chunks of money in my bank account. It's because the dreaming is supporting just the feeling of what it would feel like to have that. And the opportunity presents itself, and the family says, yeah, you can put it in our name, it's all good, and then we'll pay it off, uh, 100, what is that in Australia, $100 a month. You can pay it off, and then you can have your motorbike in 6 months and never have to pay rent again. These really beautiful, simple things that are part of practical navigation, I didn't have to intelligize around. And yeah, those are little practical elements, but at the same time, they've been a little dream seed for a while, and all of a sudden it's just, there it is. We go look for a bike, I say yes, 3 days later there it is, and I'm like, what just happened? It's really, yeah, it's really beautiful.
This is so beautiful because people spend so much time wanting to create, and I talk a lot about creating and the process of that. But the process always is the same. It works towards surrendering to the reason why your soul has incarnated itself into human form. And when we can let go of the identity of that personality that is the human, has become the human form, and we really, really, you know, listen to this soul calling, it will always take us where we need to be at that particular time. And it will always send us what I call earth angels. You know, I've got these earth angels that suddenly come in and go, oh, you want that? Yeah, no worries. We'll sort that out for you. Oh, no. Yeah, we'll sort that out. So, no, that brings me to another part, that we're never alone. You know, people get so frightened of, yeah, but I'll be alone. We're never alone. I mean, there are how many, billions of people on this earth. How on earth are we ever going to be alone? But we've got our earth angels, we have our etheric angels, as I call them, all the beings that are benevolently supporting this journey that we've chosen to be on. And so it's so lovely to hear you um, so richly describe the landing of when you've let go and you've allowed. It's about several things. It's about the willingness, and then it's the allowance for things to come in. There are so many programmed, subconscious thoughts and beliefs in the way of that we need to earn it, we need to deserve it, all of that self-worth BS, as we call it. um, and when we give that all up and go, hang on a minute, I am a pure expression of the energy that creates all things, and I have a reason for being here, so I better sign up for it now and just let it unfold. And it's in that unfolding that magic happens. So I would love to describe a little bit, because you've shared that with me, what you're actually doing on the land, and the dream you've had and how it's actually unfolding, because it just sounds so beautiful to me. How this is just occurring, but it's offering you everything that you've ever had as a dream. The dream spell has now become the now spell. And so now you step out of the front of your front porch and you're standing in it. And so if you feel that you'd like to share with us, how is this dream unfolding and what does it look like?
Well, it's 6 a.m. I'm standing on the front porch of my little juggalo wooden Balinese house, and I'm overlooking a beautiful field in front of me that is carved out with beautiful pathways and raised beds and big ponds, and further down are coconut trees and another field that I get to tend and care for. The sun is rising gently, the clouds are bellowing overheads. Little birds and critters are finding their way into my morning sanctuary. I stand there, I breathe, I feel the immense gratitude and the blessing that I get to step into. And so, bare feet, I walk out across the mud into the muddiness of the ponds, and I look at what's unfolding for me. And what I really see there is the little bridge over the little stream that connects the two ponds together, where there are little children standing, looking over the little arch into the pond, trying to count the fish. And I feel the absolute joy of seeing the awe of the younglings as they chase each other down my garden paths. I see and feel the beautiful warmth of the fire pit and the hearth that me and other grown-ups are sitting around, while younglings are poking at the fire and the youngest ones are falling asleep on grown-up laps, and we get to place them in the tent nearby where they will sleep And we return to the fire and we play our drums, we sing, we talk, we share, we connect, and we feel what it is to be human, connected. As I stand there and I feel into all of this, I see the beautiful mudslide fantasy that I have, that I see younglings playing on, that are just giggling and jittering and running around and covering each other in mud and then rinsing themselves off again as they go for another little slide. I see them running through my food forest that I've been planting out, and that has very naturally come about through all my syntropic agroforestry awareness. I see them naming the trees and recognizing the leaf patterns. I see them sitting around on the grass and all their collected leaves being turned into a beautiful leaf mandala and seed mandala. As I sit here on the bank of my still empty pond at 6 a.m. in the morning, I dream and I feel the goodness of this dream. A safe haven for the future, a sanctuary for intergenerational family, self-chosen family, to have space, to have a gathering place, to have a connection point to nature, where everything is really about the younglings. And in their joy and in their play and in their learning and in their adventure and their curiosity, I find my purpose. I feel my muscles wanting to get into the dirt and wanting to carve out a little bit more with distinction, just that corner. So as I see them running there, they'll be able to have more fun in their chasing. And this has really come about by sitting together with my dear brother Dean, with whom I experienced for the first time what conscious co-living as an experiment for 1 month was like. When humans are on to re-enable their nature, when they are willing to get really real with what's going on in their thoughts and those unnatural frequencies for them to be revealed so that the healing can come about, for them to choose to get out of this pre-thinking. That was 8 years ago, and we have been in contact ever since, and he has kept the dream of the Thrive Hive alive. And I was always wondering, well, I don't know how that's going to happen because I don't have the money, I don't have the finance. I'm just here to serve in consciousness. I'm just here to serve in syntropy and the cultivation of a new language that humans can start tuning in with because their cells resonate with it. And we've been real, we've been raw throughout all these years with each other, revealing and healing and really getting into the curiosity with each other, that when I hear you sound that out like that, I'm curious if there's something around that, something underneath that. We've cultivated this beautiful space of being able to feel safe with each other and always able to check in with ourselves if there is something that we could actually shine light on. He visited me 4 weeks ago, and we sat there on that front porch and we started actually getting into what is it really about, this community, this co-living, this co-landing, this co-creating a space. What is really important? What would we really do it for? Is it about the maker space and the tool shed and all the stuff we can build? And we explored everything from our masculine attractions to do, build, create, and provide this space and bring humans in and show them how great it is all going to be. And then we kind of, in the sound of it, boiled it down as the fire slowly came down itself, and we stared into the embers. And that's when the visions really came with Grandfather Fire. That for me, what it is about. And it brings so much emotion. It's this brother Dean is so close to me, and that we share the simplicity of the human experience and what we want to create. That it's about those younglings standing on a little bridge, trying to count how many beautiful fish there are in the pond and pointing them out. And then we look at each other as we sit there staring in the embers. And we both break up in tears because we both are recognizing that we are coming home in the vision of our humanity, of our inner soul's purpose that is just there, and it's not an empowered force. It's a beckoning us to surrender with her, with land, with the mother, with doing this for the mothers, because you can't have younglings without them, of course. And he's got a beautiful youngling around him, and it's currently in the place called Bolivia. But yes, we together really seeded the dream and are able and are enabled together, because we got each other, to create a space that is a safe haven, that will be a space for other humans to come and experience what a Thrive Hive immersion could feel like, what is available in the human experience. And the beautiful perspective that we both share is that because we make it about what serves our human ecology, which is the younglings, we are both really embracing and feeling coming alive of the non-commercial nature of our endeavor. That this is not to create an Airbnb space or to create a return on investment. The return on investment for us is those little children chasing each other through the garden paths. And that in our dreaming and receiving that dreaming brings that sense of real temporal fulfillment that resonates in our bodies. And yeah, with that, I feel that there's been a tremendous release, and I had a beautiful, heart-breaking. Oh, it was really deep and raw, because a part of me knows and knew that I don't know how to do this, because I'm not financially enabled with digits to build houses. And as we were sitting there, something got unlocked for me, because this part of me that has been carrying the dream for all this time, not knowing how to bring it about, had actually lost hope a really long time ago. A really, really, really long time ago for this original dream. It somehow also stayed true to it, as if it was just this fantasy that could not be let go of. And to be met by a brother that says, all you have to do is let go. I got you. And we got this. Yeah, it ripped me right open, because all those years that I've had that dream and carried the vision without knowing how was really connected to a part of myself that has actually been disappointed in life very early on. And that, as you spoke to Yvonne, that required me to really surrender. And I shared with him, wow, it feels like I'm falling back. And all of a sudden, this childhood dream that I had, there was my only recurring dream for 12 years of my life, as if I was falling out of the sky. And in my dream, I would just be falling. I would just be falling, and there'd be no safety. There'd be no, and never in the dream would I know what was going to happen, because it was this recurring kind of anxiety dream. In the end, I would always land on the tongue of a whale. Not sure what that was about, but there was always a landing. And all of a sudden, as I was sitting there, that dream came back to me. It's like, but that means that I have to fall. I have to let go fully and really release any of my bearings that I'm holding on. I can do this myself. If I just believe in the dream, and it's just so good, because we cannot do this manifestation of the full human ecology dream. It's not possible alone, because then it's just a hierarchical fruity land of one individual. And so on that night, I cried, I released, and felt the tremors in my body of what I've been holding on to. And now it's the training to say, all right, I'm stepping out of online. I'm stepping into on land, and I'm surrendering each day. I'm sounding out whenever I got some fear, panic, or story coming up around how am I going to do this? I get to release that and free myself of that and simply trust. And as you said, surrender is part of that. With that all said, the space when your retreat is happening and also your retreat in September will be most welcoming, to have a space to sit around the fire and to dream into the greater original dream of our human story. And yeah, it feels good to share.
Wow. Thank you for your heartfelt sharing. I mean, you know, the openness of it is just so beautiful. And what's coming across is that when you come back to your, what you're talking about now all the time, is we've got to come back to our humanness. We have really lost our humanness, and the human is kind and caring and loving and sharing, and we thrive in the communities that are of like mind, and that is what I'm doing in the middle of a city. And you are, you know, beginning that with younglings, as you say. And what I'm finding at the moment is that all over the world are these hubs of people that are creating in their way similar things, but for different reasons and for different intent, but all with the same foundation of this coming back to the human kindness, to the decision that no longer is this attachment to doing and having serving us. It's not serving us, it's not serving others, it's not serving the earth, and it's not therefore not serving the whole. And it's when we let go and allow ourselves to become part of the whole. I was having that discussion with a beautiful student this morning about the fact that in if we just become one with what this whole energy of the universe is about. I mean, everything is in motion, in constant motion. And when we learn to understand that we are a part of that, the biggest lie that we've been taught and taught to believe in is that we're separate from it all, that we somehow are able to control it, that we stand above it or below it, either is equally not serving us. And when we let go of that and we go, we are small, but a significant part of the whole. And what is the whole? The whole is the earth. The whole is the planets, the space that it all flows, the stars. The whole is the galaxy. And it's all in motion. And when we stop resisting it and wanting to control it or be fearful of it, when we allow ourselves to just be in this beautiful syntropic, biorhythm that is life itself, then we bend like the trees in a storm. We bend like the grass in the wind. We bend and we stand up and we become one with the all that is. And that is the fluid nature of the authentic self that has been ripped away from us for eons, and that we are now retrieving. And when I listen to you, you are expressing that so beautifully as you are dreaming it into place. And it's all about dreaming without having a clue how that's going to come about, but keeping the dream alive. Why do you think that we have the ability to dream? Why do you think we have imagination, the ability to to futurize, even though there is no future, because there is no future, there's no tomorrow. I keep telling people that stop worrying about tomorrow because it doesn't exist. So we just have the now. And if we can, you talked about, we have this love for the Balinese culture. So as a child, I lived in Jakarta, and the first thing that I learned about that was that the Indonesians, before they were, whatever, men made into a much more warlike creature that they weren't. They're very like the Balinese. They were simple and beautiful and connected to the earth and connected with each other. They lived in communities and kampongs. And the only thing that were concerned about was that they had their bowl of rice for the day. And it was something that my parents always used to say. That's all that they seemed to be concerned about. And they couldn't understand it. But I do so understand it, But then, of course, we had some beautiful gentlemen called Sukarno who kept yelling out Merdeka, Merdeka, which was freedom. They said, can you eat that? Of course, no, they couldn't eat it. And what happened then is for the first time they ended up having to import rice, which was the biggest crime of all, because all of a sudden they were told that what they were so content with was not good enough. And we are being brought back to this being earthlings. We are earthlings. We're here. The more we are connected with Mother Earth, the more we can bring Father Heaven down. And when we do that, when we live in this beautiful energy of humanness, the true kindness, the love, the peace that our soul is, we're not warlike. Never were, never were meant to. And we can give up this separation and division and this hierarchical belief that someone has to be up there and someone has to be down there. The sooner we give that up and we turn our back, to live in what you are describing and what I'm constantly developing in our New Earth communities and the New Earth sanctuaries that I know that will eventuate. I can feel it, I can taste it. And we have the people already here, and every day it expands and it expands. New people come and they go, I didn't know that this was possible, that we could live like that with each other. And that is what we are revealing in ourselves. That's what we are returning to. This connection to the heart and connection to the earth and connection to the universe as one thing, not separate bits and pieces. It is just such a beautiful time to be alive, as you said. And I know you say, I'm leaving the digital world, and I just said to you, I never say goodbye. I only ever say hello. And so there is no never. There is today's today. Today you are here to tell us your story and to say, you know what, you probably won't see me online for a while, but who knows? Who knows? I always keep every door open just in case. And I'm really looking forward to, I'm so looking forward. I've got a dreaming, and I see me with my driver driving up to your lovely little house and getting out of the car and taking a look at you and going, oh my God, he's real. And for us to actually connect, not virtually, but physically. And I think that is going to be such a moment. And it's not that far away, I don't think. It's meant to be. And for whatever reason, how we ever got together, who knows? And that is what I love about life. People come into your life and they just take you somewhere and they uplift you. But if we're not open to receive, if we're constantly intellectualizing, analyzing everything and putting it through this checklist of good, bad, fear, doubt, right, wrong, and approval, and all of that stuff that has kept us enslaved forever. And then the coin. Oh, that lovely coin that has had us absolutely enslaved for a lifetime. And as you said, you've always thought, I don't have the finances. Well, I don't have the finances. Well, I do, but I don't have them stashed somewhere. When I need them, when I'm in the dreaming, in the energy of the dreaming. And this is what the Aborigines in Australia are all about, the dreaming. When I'm in the energy of the dreaming, supply arrives. But if I'm sitting there with a pen and writing out a plan and doing this and that, you know, someone asked me the other day, so describe to me a day at the retreat. And I'm quite puzzled. And I'm going, pardon? And she goes, well, what does a day look like? I said, I don't know until I get there. I don't know what the day looks like. I know what this day looks like. But isn't it how we are trapped in not making decisions because we need to know. We need to know. We need to know. I know nothing. I love it. I love not knowing. And if I need to know, guess what? I've got the red phone to the president, so I just ask. What I need to know comes. What I don't need to know, I leave alone. That's such a relief because I was an absolute know-all for a long time. And now I'm just happy to sit here and be and chat with you. Such a beautiful energy and listening to your dreaming. And I'm the same. I'm, absolutely in awe of how things unfold, reveal. People come into your life and I go, oh, I wonder what that person's in my life for. Oh, I wonder where we're going with this person. It's all such a wonder when you just let it reveal itself. So I'm beyond excited to see how this all develops. I'm beyond excited to see your food foresting because you're planting. What are you planting?
Anything that I can get my hands on. Getting seeds into Indonesia is not the easiest thing, and I haven't really gone explored the online space because I have enough seeds. I go to the market. I'm like, oh, that'd be a nice fruit tree to have, and I have the seeds in the fruit. So lots of durians. It's gonna be a total durian festivity land. Durians, mangosteens, coconuts, snake fruit, sour sop, of course, bananas. It's the plant list is like if people really want to know what I'm all going to be growing, they best just follow my little once a week update on putting in the permaculture paradise gardens, and I've got a little Substack space for that. It's sovereign.substack.com where people can find a little space to maybe glean a little bit of what it is that I'm navigating. It's all through the syntropic lens, of course. And I will list out my plant list. Currently, I'm just pretty much saving every seed from every vegetable or fruit that I'm eating. Specifically, go to the markets to be like, oh, I want those kumquats. Yeah, let's see if I can find kumquats.
You
But
have to
then the
grow
kumquats
tomatoes.
don't have seeds, so I have to buy them from another place. So I can get, one seed out of 20 kumquats, and then care for the little seeds so that I'll get a little plant.
Okay, so what about propagation? And you've got to look. You need to grow some what are the pomelos for me? My favorite fruit.
Pomelos. Okay, I'm open to being contracted to that. I have to start eating pomelos and see which ones are
Oh, they are
white or
beautiful.
pink.
Yeah, that's beautiful. But propagation, I just stick everything in a glass of water and grow roots. And
So good,
um,
huh?
it is so good because that's what nature does.
Yeah.
It's what
No,
nature
I've
does.
just installed. I have one toucan, a beautiful local man that again, like how it all happens, it's just beautiful. We're sitting at a little warung with friends, up in the area where I'm living, and the lady that runs the warung is asking, do you know anybody that needs anybody for work? Because my husband is really looking to do something because he doesn't have any work at the moment. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I'm not, it's not addressed to me. I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably going to do everything myself. Well, it turned out that 3 days later, I'm having the inspiration. Oh, I should probably reach out to him because I actually don't know how to do any of this. And I probably shouldn't be responsible for building out with cement and concrete a little compost bay and a seedling area. And what else could I come up with? So I just decided, let's just see what happens. I'm going to get this guy to come and here's a drawing. Can you make something like this? And he just tinkers away. And together we're finding that we call it palan palan. It's like one step at a time. It's just one day at a time. Just don't go any faster. Don't try to envision what it's. So we're like discovering as we're going how to build it out. And he's doing all the building, and we're just having little chats and cups of tea. And so I have a beautiful little seedling bay that has been established where I can start planting out and organizing what it is that I all want to see come to fruition in plant life world. And now pomelos are on that list. It's beautiful. I love it. And yeah, a lot. I'm gonna try. And the beautiful thing about syntropic agroforestry and really the approach that I have with it is that the only way that I will learn anything is by making tons of mistakes.
Yeah.
So I'm really comfortable in that space. I'm a perfectionist, but far from a perfectionist in that sense. Like, all right, I'm gonna plant. I planted out like radishes and capsicums, and I put it nicely on a raised bed. And it's wet season, so it's not the ideal time to plant anything. But wet a little bit more gentle, and it's now kind of like it's been quite torrential last week. And so when I went back to my little consortiums of cassava, pineapple, chocos, and cucumbers and pumpkins and jackfruits and durians,
You have frozen.
I'm back.
You're back. Good.
Yeah. So as I'm coming back to my little consortium that I planted out, I planted 4 of them. I was like, yeah, I guess I really forgot to put mulch around all of this, and which is very cute because I think a lot of the radishes and the cucumbers kind of went down the little subak system and may find a place to grow somewhere else.
I'm sure they'll grow.
Yes, that they will sprout and they'll bear fruit somewhere else. It's just really really nice to not be attached to like, oh, if I'm going to plant something I want to eat, it's like, hey, if this is going to work, then it'll be a good learning experience. And so I'm taking every day like that, where I plant little things in little places, and I'll just get to experiment. Like, does that really work? I have a lot of awareness on stratification, light requirements, and shade tolerance of plants. And at the same time, I'm just like, I just want to play. I know how to do this properly. I know how to schedule it all out and do the succession planning and planting. But for the first couple of months, I think I'm just going to experiment like crazy and plant everything everywhere I feel that my cells feel to plant it. And then as that also, because there's all that life does when we plant seeds, it brings life into the ecology. And so if my little crops fail, or if my little radishes kind of turn into little rotten radishes because it's too wet, it just brings life into the ecology. And so I'm going to experiment and play, and then over time I'll get a little bit more like, okay, we're going to do this row like this. But until that time, it's just day to day finding seeds, sticking them in the ground, and yeah, enjoying the excitement of the spinaches and the garlic chives and the lettuces, and and anything that can come back to me, it's just such a delight to have that be possible.
Wow. It is beautiful, and I know you wanted to do this live because you wanted to let people know what you're doing and where you're going. And so I would like to I want to thank you for all that you've contributed in the last few years, and I know you've been doing it far longer, but online. And you have had such an amazing impact. And I know this is not the end, it is the beginning of a whole new journey. But then I believe every day is the beginning of a whole new journey for everyone, as long as we're open to it. And I'm just really excited to see where this is going. And yeah, look, I'll just keep stalking you. That's really, you know, we came together for a reason. And so, as I said to you, Bali is calling me, and I'm just so excited that you have found what you found, what you are dreaming into place, and it's so beautiful. So, on behalf of a lot of people who have been following you and who will continue to follow you, I want to say thank you for everything that you have continuously offered people. And I know you will continue to offer people, but just in a slightly different way. So, wish you all the fortune in the world, and that doesn't necessarily have to be coin, but if it is coined, it's just as well. Love it. And I know that you have so many earth angels and etheric angels that are traveling with you. So thank you for everything that you have meant to me and what shared with me. I have been just so humbled by our relationships, and I love you dearly, as you know. So, wish you all the joy, the love, the peace that human kindness desires and our heart calls for. So, until we meet again, be it in the flesh or maybe online, who knows? Take care, be well, be happy, and thrive. So thank you so much for it all. Bye bye.